So we are actually in Pennsylvania this weekend, and this is our driveway at the moment. Nick has all of the fig trees out. I'm sure the neighbors think we're a little crazy. And since it is a nice weekend and we're waiting for somebody to come measure our front door, we decided to up pot some of the flowers we planted earlier this season in the greenhouse. So I started with the lobelia, and I started putting them in the bigger pots, and then we have the alyssum. Nick's on the first stage of filling the pot, and then he's gonna have to transplant it.
We might need a bigger greenhouse.
I don't know where we're gonna fit. This is just some of the ones we're gonna be putting in there, and then there's a whole bunch more out there. But the plan is, all along the sidewalk here, our grass never did too well. So several years ago we tore up the grass and we just plant flowers in here. And there's one fig we have in a pot there. We kept it all season there. It's still alive. So we'll leave it there. But that's the plan for today. And we got to jumpstart the other weekend and actually cut down all the beds and put some fresh mulch there. But I don't think any of our roses are really going to come back, and if so, might not be much. So we might have to pull them out and put new ones in. We'll probably put some of these seeds, if we have too many, or flowers, in this little bed back here too. We had to replace one of our trees that ended up growing sideways between us and the neighbors, so we ended up putting a plum tree right there. And now we want to try to get we got another plum tree because Nick's hoping one fertilizes the other one, gets fruit. But then we might want to get a pluot and put it in between that and the electrical box. We'll see.
Alright, so it's a warm day here in Pennsylvania. We've got the figs out. You can see we had a lot of tender growth that had no light in the garage, so that's all going to probably get sunburned and fall off. But new growth coming out should be greener, hopefully. But a little maintenance, so I've got some pelletized lawn lime. And I like to just add some of that lime to the figs, replace some of the minerals that they used up over last year. So I've got lime, and I've got a little bit of instant fertilizer. This is some of the stuff I picked up at Home Depot that was on sale at the end of the season. So I just put a handful of that in there. And then lastly, I've got some slow release fertilizer, and I'll just put a little bit of that in around the pot as well. And then when I find time, what I'll do is once these come out of dormancy and it starts to get a bit warmer, I'll move them into their permanent location for the summer. Once I move them to that permanent location, I have this all dressed, I'll put the mulch on. Get a nice top layer of mulch on. I don't want to put the mulch on. I've learned the hard way over the years, don't put the mulch on before you move them. Because as soon as you tip them to move them someplace, all the mulch comes out. So now I'll wait until I get them where I need to go. They won't have too much of a water issue until they get fully leafed out and growing. So I'll have time to get them where they need to go, add the mulch, and I should be good to go. But very important to fertilize your trees. The lime's not necessarily, a must-do. Whether it helps or not, I've read things both ways. But it's cheap enough, so I figured, well, I have everything in the driveway here, I'd go around and do it all. So Teresa's pointing to some bravas here. What do you want to say, babe? Oh, Teresa's shy today.
Nothing.
No?
No.
You're pointing to the bravas. Just showing them. That's the VDB that has all those bravas. Again, you can see how white they are. They have no sunlight in the garage, so they'll likely get sunburned as well. A couple days of rain coming up, though, so maybe we'll get lucky. Oh, and I wanted to show this, too. I used some cut sealer on my black Madeira. The bark, you can kind of see it still, was separating off the black Madeira. It's been having some issues there and primarily here. And and so I wanted to seal it. I'm not sure it'll make much of a difference, but this tree has really been hurt in the last couple of years. So I figured I'd try some of the sealer and see what would happen. Probably need to do one more coat on it just to get it nice and thick in there. Again, I'm not really sure as to why it's having this issue. I know in years past I've been thinking that the tree hadn't gone, fully dormant, and we got a freezing temperature. It caused it to rupture, but it seems to be continuing to happen. So I don't know. I'd hate to lose this big black Madeira, but yeah, figured I'd give it a shot, see what would happen. And Martinenca Ramada has some figs left on it from last year. I don't know if they'll ripen properly, but still kind of something neat for the spring here to play with. I see a bunch of Brabos on a few of the other trees. But yeah, everything's coming out of dormancy. It was 67, 68 degrees here today. It's supposed to be even warmer for the next 2 days. And then we're supposed to drop back down into the 40s and 50s for a little while. So spring's here though, and time to get some of these chores out of the way before summer gets kicking. So I'm PA Figs. Hope everybody's starting to enjoy a little bit of the spring weather.